All right, let's talk about the single most underrated part of your entire workout. No, it's not some fancy new exercise. It's the time you spend doing, well, nothing. That's right, we're diving into the time between your sets, your rest period. And trust me, learning how to master it is going to change everything.
And I'm going to start with a pretty bold question. Is the way you're resting right now actually sabotaging your workout? I mean, think about it. We've all got this image in our heads of this super intense gym goer just flying from one machine to the next, no time to waste. But what if that whole go, go, go mindset is actually holding you back from the results you're working so hard for?
So, first things first, we've got to bust a huge myth. And that's the idea that less rest always means a better workout. We're going to look at why rushing between your sets can seriously hurt your gains. It feels productive, right? Rushing keeps you sweaty, your heart's pounding. It feels intense. But here's what the science actually tells us. When you cut your rest too short, the amount of weight you can lift in your next sets just tanks. Say you squat 100 kilos for 5 reps. If you only rest for 30 seconds, you might only get 3 reps on the next set. And that drop in volume, the total work you do, is a huge problem because that volume is one of the biggest drivers for getting stronger and building muscle. Okay, so if rust isn't just killing time, what is actually happening inside your body? This is where it gets really cool. This is the science behind why rest isn't just downtime, it's literally grow time. It all comes down to this super simple 3-step cycle. First, you lift. You challenge your muscles, and this creates tiny, microscopic tears in the muscle fibers. Think of it like a controlled demolition. Step 2, you rest. This is the magic moment. Your body sends in a full-on construction crew to repair that damage. And step 3, you grow. This repair process, the fancy word for it is hypertrophy, doesn't just patch things up. It rebuilds the muscle bigger and stronger than it was before. The actual growth, it happens when you stop lifting. And that's not all. Your muscles have these little, super fast energy batteries. When you do a heavy set of squats or a big bench press, you pretty much drain them completely. Well, the rest period is literally your body plugging those batteries back in to recharge. Without that recharge time, trying to do another heavy set is like trying to use your phone on 1% battery. The performance just plummets. Okay, so we're all on the same page. We need to rest. But the million-dollar question is for how long? So let's get into the practical stuff you can use on your very next trip to the gym. All right, this slide right here, this is the one. You're going to want to screenshot this, tattoo it on your arm, whatever you need to do, because your rest time should be totally different depending on your goal. If you're training for muscular endurance, think high reps, being able to go for longer, then yeah, a short rest of 30 to 60 seconds is great. But if your goal is to build muscle size, what we call hypertrophy, you need to be in that sweet spot of 1 to 2 minutes. And if you're chasing pure, raw strength, you need to rest longer. We're talking 3 to 5 minutes. That gives your muscles and your central nervous system time to fully recover so you can hit that next heavy lift with everything you've got. And if you don't believe me, look at the data. This 2016 study by Brad Schoenfeld and his team is just incredible. They took a bunch of trained guys and split them up. One group rested for just 1 minute between sets. The other rested for 3 minutes. And get this, the group that rested longer saw double the strength gains on their squat, a 15.2% increase versus just 7.5%. They saw way more muscle growth too. The proof is right there. Resting longer isn't lazy, it's just plain smarter. Now, that chart is an amazing starting point, but we can take this a step further because the stopwatch isn't the only thing you should be paying attention to. The real next level is learning to listen to your own body. And this leads us to a concept called autoregulation. I know, it sounds like a complicated science term, but it's actually super simple. It just means you adjust your workout based on how you feel on that specific day. Some days you walk into the gym feeling like a superhero, and other days, not so much. Autoregulation means if you had a terrible night's sleep, maybe you give yourself an extra minute of rest. It's about being smart and flexible, not being a slave to the clock. So what signs are you looking for? Well, for one, the exercise itself. It's common sense, right? A huge, draining lift like a heavy squat is going to need way more rest than a set of bicep curls. But also, think about your life outside the gym. How'd you sleep? Stressed out from work? All that stuff impacts your recovery. A simple rule of thumb, wait until your breathing calms down. If you're still panting, you're not ready. And finally, there's your mental focus. You need to feel locked in and ready to attack that next set safely and with good form. Okay, let's put all these pieces together. We're going to wrap this all up into one smart strategy you can take with you to get better results starting today. I absolutely love this quote because what it does is it puts you in the driver's seat. You are the expert on your own body. The simplest way to know if your strategy is working is to ask, are you getting stronger? Are you lifting more weight or doing more reps than you were last month? If the answer is yes, great, keep doing what you're doing. But if you've hit a wall or even started going backwards, it's probably time to look at your recovery, and your rest periods are the first place to start.
So here's the bottom line. It's time to stop thinking about rest as a break from the workout. Rest is the workout. It's a strategic tool, every bit as important as the exercises you choose or the weight on the bar. It's the hidden variable that can unlock a whole new level of strength and growth.
So, now you know the secret. You have the science, you have the strategy. The only question left is, how are you going to use this information to completely transform your very next workout? Think about it.